Raider Nation. Raider Nation, I am live. I am live from my podcast studio. And I get the news that has officially been done. That the Raiders have hired Gus Bradley. The Raiders have hired Gus Bradley as a defensive coordinator. I'm not pleased with this defensive coordinator. I am not pleased. We got another Paul Guntner. We got another Paul fucking Guntner. Like, why? Why? Like, why, Raider Nation? I just don't get it. I'm sorry, but I got to open up my laptop so I can read y'all this stuff that I'm seeing. Like, this is so ridiculous. Like, I'm not... Gus Bradley, out of all defensive coordinators, you pick Gus Bradley. The Raiders would never improve. We would never improve. It was so many better defensive coordinators out there. It was so many better defensive coordinators out there. And for us to pick him up, I'm disappointed. The Raiders will go 7-9 or 8-8 next year. I promise you that. I will promise you that. The Raiders will not go nowhere next year. I'm disgusted. I am disgusted. Out of all defensive coordinators, you go out and get Gus Bradley. That was one of the worst defensive coordinators for the Chargers last year. With that talented defense. And y'all was still terrible. I'm disappointed. I am very disappointed. And I had to bring this to y'all early because, you know, I don't like going live this early, but I will be live at 4 o'clock for Raiders all-season talk. And Gus Bradley is the new defensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders. Make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I am not impressed. He's not easily an upgrade over PJ. He's not an upgrade. He's not an upgrade. He's terrible as a DC. He's terrible. He's another. He's not an upgrade. He's not an upgrade. He's definitely not an upgrade. I'm gonna tell you why. Let's look up his stats. Let's look up his rankings for his defensive rankings as a coach. Let's look up his defensive rankings. Let's look up some information on Gus Bradley as a coordinator for the Chargers. Let's look at it. He's not top 10. This defense would not be top 10. That's 2018. We talk about last year. We talking about last year. Let's talk about this past season. We're not going to be a middle of the pack defense. We didn't hire Wade. It was so many better defensive coordinators better than him. Like, I would have took Raheem Morris over Gus Bradley right now. Not top. Listen, I'm not. There's no congrats to this, Lee Jenkins. It's no congrats to this. This, I'm not a big fan of Gus Bradley. I'm not a big fan of Gus Bradley. Absolutely not. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Gus Bradley. There's so many other. This is the problem with the Ravens. This is why I have my problem with. Yeah, Robert Slave was there too. Robert Slave, yeah, but he's probably going to the Jets. But we didn't even. This is my problem with the Raiders. We didn't even interview anybody else. Y'all went with the first person. That's what makes me mad. If y'all would have went with interviewing other defensive coordinators, if you would have interviewed defensive coordinator just to weigh your options out. But the Raiders didn't weigh their options out. Greg Williams is a great aggressor. Greg Williams is better than Gus Bradley. I can name three coordinators that's better than Gus Bradley right now. Like seriously. I'm so disappointed right now. I'm so disappointed because I feel like the Raiders could have went out and interviewed other defensive coordinators before calling Gus Bradley your coordinator. I have not heard any. Yes, they were cycling. They were cycling coaches. That's all the Raiders is doing. Is recycling coaches. It's upsetting, man. It is upsetting that Gus Bradley is going to like. Have you interviewed anybody else? He's not an upgrade because he's John Gruden's butt buddy. He's John Gruden's butt buddy, bro. Come on, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. It's so many great. The defensive coordinator for what's his name? The defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. It is a valid reason. People don't understand, man. Gruden like yes men, and he does. Another one of Gruden's products that's not successful. Another Gruden best friend. I'm not hype over this hire. I'm not hype. There's nothing to be hyped about. There's nothing to be hyped about. I'm not excited for the defensive coordinator. For all that, we should have kept Paul Guttner or let Rob Millinari be the defensive coordinator. But no. You go out and get Gus Bradley that this defense for the Chargers didn't do nothing last year. How you have Joey Bosa, you have Ingram, you have all these great defensive players for the Chargers, and you can't stop the pass. It was so many other candidates. Yeah, it would have been a good hire 3 years ago. Fact. It would have been a good hire 3 years ago. But it's not a great hire. You have so many better qualities in other defensive coordinators. That's what people fail to realize. You just bringing a yes man into the fold where he's just going to not. I bet you this defense would not be middle of the pack. This defense would not be middle of the pack. I'm not taking him over. Honestly, if you wanted to give it to somebody, give it to Rob Millinari. He's in-house. Why not give it to him to give him a chance to work with this defense? Why not give this man a shot? Yes, he had a couple weeks to get this defense together, but you didn't even give this man a shot. I would have been happy with Rob Millinari being the defensive coordinator because now you have a full season with Rob Millinari. Ron Marinelli has a better defensive record than Gus Bradley. People forget that. But Lee Jenkins, Dan Quinn is better than Gus Bradley too. But Dan Quinn is the DC for the Dallas Cowboys. He just got hired yesterday for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm shocked, man. I'm shocked. They only interviewed 2 people. This is my problem. I don't like the hire, all aboard. I don't like the hire. I don't like the hire. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it was better defensive coordinators. It was better defensive coordinators than Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley is not even a top 5 defensive coordinator in the league. He's not good with young players. Have you not seen what he did with the Chargers? Are y'all really listening? Are y'all really looking at this? Y'all are nuts if you think that he's the Adam Gase of defensive coordinator. He's a conservative-ass play caller as a defensive coordinator. Why do you think he got fired? He's not even top 5 no matter who. He wasn't even the top 5 defensive coordinators available. That's the crazy part. He wasn't even the top 5 coordinators available. I don't know how y'all like this hire. I don't get it. We rushing to get all the leads. Exactly. All the leads the Chargers collapsed. All those leads the Chargers gave up this past year. He wasn't even the top 5. It was Robert Slave. It was Dan Quinn. It was Wade Phillips. It was Robert Morris. Gus Bradley wasn't even a top 5 available defensive coordinator. I'm not going to eat my words because I'm telling you right now, once we still stay with that 4, once we stay, this is why we're not going to be successful, because we stand in a 4-3 where we have so many athletic linebackers that could play a 3-4. And this is my problem with the Raiders. You didn't even go out and interview anybody else outside of Chris Richard. You didn't see what Wade Phillips had to say. You didn't see what Raheem Morris had to say. You didn't see what Dan Quinn had to say. You didn't see what half of these defensive coordinators had to say. See, he's not a Raiders fan and you don't even like to hire. Gus Bradley is terrible. Another Gruden yes man. That's exactly what this is. Another Gruden yes man. We did not have to rush to get a defensive coordinator. We did not have to rush. What was the rush for? Go out and hire who you want to hire. And Mike Mayock, this is showing that who really wears the pants in this organization, Mike Mayock. John Gruden wears the pants. John Gruden wears the pants in this organization. John Gruden is the GM. You're not the GM, Mike Mayock, because you're letting John Gruden do what he do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm on here. It's just mind-boggling to me. You didn't give no other defensive coordinator a chance. Not a chance in hell. Not a chance. And this is what you do? Like, this is sad, man. This is sad. No, we're not jumping to all conclusions here, all aboard. We're not. And I'm going to tell you why. How many leads did that Chargers defense give up this season? Think about it. Think about it. How many leads did this guy give up? How many leads does this Chargers defense give up? And Justin Herbert had to put this team on his back. Like, come on. Y'all got to look at it. Y'all got to look at it from how many collapses that this Chargers team had. You're not looking at the bigger picture. You're not looking at the bigger picture. Gus Bradley is not an upgrade. This team is going to collapse. This team is going to collapse just like they did this past year. Yeah, he declined my city, my game. He declined. You said it. Gus Bradley with the Chargers had a rank 8 defense in 2018, 14th in 2019, and last season ranked 23rd. That's not good enough for me. 23rd is not good enough. That's still bottom of the barrel. That's still close to 32. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I don't like it. I don't like it. Me personally, I don't like it. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of this. There were way better coordinators available. That's all I'm saying. The Raiders did not go out and interview any of the top 5 defensive coordinators available. I'm telling you right now, once we start losing games because of our defense again, then y'all gonna be like, oh, here we go again. We're not going to be a top 20 defense. We're not. Because Gus Bradley did the same thing that Paul Guttner did in games. He's going to do the same thing. He's going to do the exact same thing. Sorry to say. It's true. It's sad. No, I don't want Ken Norton. I don't want Ken Norton. He used to be our defensive coordinator. I don't want Ken Norton. But listen, people think that I'm mad at the hire because it's so many other. It's like we got 76 people in here. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. There's no way I got 76 people in the chat with only 30 likes. Hit the like button because I'm live in my studio. No green screen. Gruden never had a proven track record. Gruden never had a winning track record. I don't know why he's respected like he is in the league. We right back where we started. Here we go again, y'all. Here we go again. I wouldn't have been mad at the hire. See, my thing is this. My thing is this. I wouldn't have been mad at the hire, right? I wouldn't have been mad at the hire if the Raiders went out and interviewed other coaches. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you would have given other people opportunities to be interviewed for that job, we're not signing Earl Thomas. We don't have the money for Earl Thomas. We don't have the money for him. We don't. We don't have the money for him. I'm not a big fan of Gus Bradley. Probably not. I wouldn't be as mad, Roy. I wouldn't be as mad. The fact that we gave other coordinators a chance to get interviewed, I wouldn't be as mad because it probably would have been a reasoning why they went with Gus Bradley and not them. I'm just not a big fan. I'm just not a big fan of it. Tampa 2 defense is not really effective in this game. Do you think the Raiders hire Chris Richard as a DB coach or as assistant? No, they're not. Yes, now we can really focus on the draft. But the thing about it is, I'm just not a big fan. Just from what I saw last year with the talent that the Chargers have on the defensive side. We got 100 people in here. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. Our defensive players have been taught to tackle and run in defensive schemes. Gruden and Mike clearly have a reason. Listen, I'm saying this though. People fail to realize this, right? You had Joey Bosa, you had Melvin Ingram, you had Chris Harris over there. You drafted Kenneth Murray at linebacker. You have a nice front seven for the Chargers, and they could not get it done with Gus Bradley. Why do you think Gus Bradley was out in LA? Why do you think he left? Why do you think he got fired? Think about it. Bro, it's not a head coaching problem. I mean, it is a head coaching problem because Gruden is offensive minded and his play calling is shitty, but the defense, it's the defense that lost us 3 games that we could have been 11-5. It's the defense that lost us 3 games, and I can name right off the bat the 3 games that we lost because of the defense. I'm mad at the Gus Bradley hire, but I feel like they rushed to make this hire. They rushed this hire. We got 91 people in the chat. Come on in and hit that like button. Come on in and hit that like button. I feel like you didn't. I feel like you should have had more. You should have had more time. It's not the offense. It's the defense. How I want to know. Please tell me how he's an upgrade from Paul Guttner. That he did the same thing like Paul Guttner did last year, this past year. Why rush the hire? We're only a week out from the regular season. Why rush the hire? You could have interviewed so many people. You could have had Raheem Morris. You could have had Dan Quinn. You could have had Wade Phillips. You could have had a defensive coordinator from the Indianapolis Colts. That's a top 10 defensive coordinator. You could have had plenty of people that was out here better than Gus Bradley. Y'all forgot the Tampa 2 defense does not work in today's NFL. Yes, we really signed them. I hypnotic. We really signed them, bro. We wasn't getting any of them, you know why? Because they're not yes men to John Gruden. I like Dan Quinn. The Chargers did have an offense last year. You just not see what Justin Herbert did? You just not did you not see what Justin Herbert did this year? Justin Herbert did the same thing that Derek Carr did. He put them in position to win, and the Chargers defense screwed up again. That's all I'm saying. Paul Guttner is a comparison when it comes to collapsing in games. That's the comparison between Gus Bradley and Paul Guttner. They defense collapse when it matters. But Raheem Morris didn't even get interviewed. This is why I said go ahead and interview. Go ahead and interview Raheem Morris because Raheem Morris is not even getting interviewed for the Atlanta Falcons job. He's not even getting interviewed for it. That's the crazy part. Can somebody get John Witherspoon out of here? He keep talking about the Khalil Mack. Let me get him out of here. Let me put him in timeout real quick. Nobody cares about that, bro. That might be another thing, too, because he's black. I really hope that right now I can look back on this and regret doing this live stream. I'm just not feeling it right now. I'm just not feeling it. We didn't interview nobody but Chris Richard and Gus Bradley. They the only two. They the only two that we interviewed. Why should we have faith? Why should we have faith in John Gruden? He has not. We hired Gus Bradley as our new defensive coordinator. We hired Gus Bradley. We're not going to sign. Listen, how are we going to talk about sign Earl Thomas now and we can't even re-sign Nelson Aguilar? Like, come on, y'all. Y'all got to realistically think. Y'all were talking about go after Earl Thomas. Y'all must not know how much cap that we don't have for Earl Thomas. I would love to go out and get Earl Thomas if we had the money, but we don't have the money for Earl Thomas. So stop saying that. We don't have the money. We can't even re-sign Nelson Aguilar right now. We talking about getting Earl Thomas, and we won't even re-sign Nelson Aguilar. I don't think we got money to sign Nelson Aguilar. He will be paid a huge contract. He will be, because that's how valuable he is. I'm just reading the comments. Bernie, I'm just reading the comments. That's what they're saying. Because he's black. I don't think because he's black. I don't think that's the problem. Yeah, you got to have the right pieces to run a Tampa too. You have to have the right athletes, the right defensive players to run it. But if I am the Raiders, Nelson Aguilar should have been re-signed in week 8. Week 8 or week 9, he should have been re-signed. Oh, so because he gave Gus because he gave Gus Bradley his first coaching job, that means he deserved the defensive coordinator? Bernie, I'm just reading the comments. It don't have nothing to do with me. I don't care if he's black or not. I don't care if he's black or not. I don't know, man. If the Raiders don't offer him a nice big chunk of money, if they don't offer him a nice big chunk of money, he's not going to stay. He's worth big money. He's worth the money. Sorry to say, he's worth the money. Yeah, he's going to test free agency. He's going to test free agency. I bet you that. He's going to test free agency. And Earl Thomas is a locker room cancer. Me too, Fierce Raider. I wanted Raheem Morris. I wanted Raheem Morris. I don't know how much the contract is for Gus Bradley, but I feel like we didn't give other defensive coordinators a chance. I feel like Raiders channel just went live. I know they just went live, and I don't care. I feel how I feel. We got 61 likes. Let's make sure we hit that like button, and make sure if you're new to this channel, subscribe to the channel, because I will be going live at 4 o'clock. We got our first off season talk. It is a big one. So make sure y'all hitting that like button. Do y'all think the Las Vegas Raiders would sign Allen Robinson and let Nelson Aguilar walk? Why would we let Nelson Aguilar walk? Why? Why would we sign an outsider that don't know the offense instead of keeping a wide receiver that will have one of the best years of his career? What's the point in that? That doesn't make any sense. Yup. If we could get Jacksonville Gus Bradley, or we could get the 2018 Gus Bradley, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. But if we get last year's Gus Bradley that gave up 6 games to the defense gave up 6 games because Justin Herbert put them in position to win, then I don't want it. Then I don't want it. We got to get players. We got to get talent on the defensive side. We got to get veterans on that defensive side of the ball. As young as we are, we don't have no veterans. We have no real impact veterans. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric Hicks. Thank you so much. We need depth. Yes, we do. Got 76 people in here. Hit the like button. I know the Raiders is about to go live, and I know it's about to go down. And y'all want to hear it? Y'all want to hear it? I'm about to play it right now. Let's listen to it. Let's listen to it.
But I think it's evolved since when we went to Jacksonville. There's things that we incorporated, and then once we went to the Chargers too. So I think it's more multiple.
Can y'all hear it?
Days, the Seattle days. So, but it really revolves around looking at the personnel that we have, and then putting guys in position to where they can make a lot of plays, and position them to where they have the ability to make plays. So. That's a task that we'll look at in the next month or so. Really evaluate our personnel. Obviously, you're familiar with some of the guys, but I think to be true to
that's Gus Bradley talking.
Watch film before we talk really candidly.
I can't turn it up that high. Let me try to take it off the stand. Hold up.
Hey, Coach Jerry McDonald from the Bay Area News Group. I was curious as to what 4 years as a head coach did to you as a coordinator. Did it change you in terms of your outlook and how you?
Can you hear it now, y'all?
Yeah, that's a great question. Now, I think it has, because when you're a head coach, you're involved in many of the offensive meetings. You're sitting in with the offensive personnel and offensive staff, and you're hearing how they game plan, how they do it by formations, what formations they think best attack this style of defense. So I think in many ways it was beneficial. It did give me a different view of how to look, maybe how defenses are attacking us or offenses are attacking us.
All I really got to say.
Coach, congratulations. This is Chris Matthews, KLAS TV here in Las Vegas. I've never met anybody from, is it Zambroto before?
Yeah, you probably won't either. It's pretty small.
Where the past bridges the future. I love it. Let me ask you a little bit.
What's going on, y'all? Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If this is your first time being here, make sure you subscribe to the channel.
3,000, so you got to know everybody.
Oh, that's great.
I'm in my podcast studio, and I had to go live real quick, man.
This position, what attracts you to this whole defense, and just your conversations with Gruden preparing for this job, and what kind of sold you on the opportunity here in Vegas?
Right. Well, it all started. Obviously, Coach Gruden and I have that experience together when we were together at Tampa. I was fortunate that he hired me from North Dakota State, both him and Monty Kiffin, and.
I don't know what just happened, but the audio went out. We're not going to listen. 805 Raider is not realistic, bruh. It's not realistic. We're not getting Deshaun Watson. All right, let's see what's going on with this audio. The audio is out right now for them. I guess it must have went on mute or something. And I don't know. This is on the Raiders end. It's on the Raiders YouTube end. That they got muted. We're not giving up. We're not trading for Deshaun Watson. Get that narrative out of here, man. Get that narrative out of here. I just feel like, I don't mind, listen, I'm kind of mad at the hire. I'm not really a big fan of Gus Bradley. I just feel like we should have gave other coordinators a chance, in my opinion. We should have gave other coordinators a chance, in my opinion. I just feel like it was better defensive coordinators than Gus Bradley. But we got to live what we have. And right now, we cannot hear the audio. Let me try. I don't know what's going on. Let me try to refresh it, because the audio is out. I don't know if y'all over there as well, but
And this is what it can do for your.
All right, so let's see.
They started off.
Oh, okay, here we go.
And played a secondary in college. But I know really where it all starts is up front, and I think that's first and foremost. To get things right up front, and and then fill it in everywhere else. But
Yeah, we on board with trading Trent Brown. We on board for that.
To be successful in the NFL, and then the ability to really communicate that information to them, so it truly looks like football.
Welcome to Vegas, Gus. Levi Edwards from Raiders.com. Being on the outside looking in for 3 years with the Chargers, what would you say has been the strengths of the Raiders defense, and are you excited about working with them?
Well, I would say this. To be honest with you, don't spend a lot of time watching the other side's defense. The Raiders' offense, have had a chance to look at them for the last 3 years. 6 times that we played each other. So, but I do know this, that the Raiders, when we prepare for them, when we talk about the Raiders as a team, we know that they play extremely hard and with great effort. And that's what I know every week in, week out when we played them during those times. That's what you saw on tape. I think
y'all hearing this?
For me, as a defensive coordinator, watching the offense, I've just seen it grow the last 3 years, the offense. I think that, they're getting pieces in place, but really just how the offense has evolved. And it's a very difficult offense to get a feeling for how they're going to attack you as a defense, because they're very multiple. And I think they do a really good job of utilizing their talent.
Make sure you hit that like button if you have not subscribed. Subscribe to the channel now.
I've been very impressed with that. They've got a lot of skilled players, a lot of talent up front. And it's always a challenge to game plan. And then defensively, just that their ability to play hard and they make plays. They were making plays at critical times. And if you can do that as a defense consistently,
I just hope it's not a Tampa 2 scheme. I hope it's not.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations. This is Anthony from the Fresno Bee. You just talked about vision just a minute ago. Just curious, what is your vision for this for your new defense, and what do you want to see from the players? I know it's early, but just have you thought about that yet?
Sure. Yeah, I think that the style that you should see is a team that plays with great effort, great enthusiasm, great toughness, and a defense that plays smart. That is our key. That's the style when people talk. Now,
he's not Dominique. He's not.
What is our non-negotiables? That is fast, physical, and we've got to find a way to get the ball. And we got to set up opportunities for the offense to score, give them possessions. And every call that we design is really, even if it's just a 3D, like you say, or man coverage, we want the players to have the mindset that every call that we have is designed to get the ball. And it's very important, the communication that takes place within the defense. We're going to add defenses. We're going to be very multiple, but not at the expense that we don't play fast. That's first and foremost.
Hey, Gus, Vinny Bonsignore with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I'm sure part of the process in talking to John was, articulating your plan for getting the current players from point A to B to C, and so on and so forth. They've made a lot of investments in draft picks, free agency.
Yeah, Gruden is stuck in 01.
From what you've seen in the short film work or whatever that you've done looking at this defense, what is your plan for getting some of these younger players, Cleve Farrell, Damon Arnett, Trayvon Mullen, Jonathan Abram, up to speed and to that next level?
Right.
Well,
that's what I want to hear.
First and foremost, it's to build what obviously the previous staff has done here. I mean, you're doing a great job with fundamentals and things like that, and then you involve a new system. What I would say is it is a system now we have in place, and there's things that are non-negotiables, but we also don't want to.
What's up, Raiders? One for life.
That we do that we feel strongly about, and it's really based on fundamentals and things like communication, fundamentals, tackling, guys get off, up front with the defensive line. So there's some non-negotiables like that. It's an exciting defense to play, and I would say that the players will be very excited to be a part of it because they know that they're going to have the ability to play fast. And I think our job as coaches is really to evaluate the players and then put them in position to where they can make plays. And like I said, for me, to be fair to the players, that's what's going to take place the next month or so. We're going to be heavy in tune to it. I'm excited about a guy, Coach Rod Marinelli.
Yeah, but Melvin Ingram stays hurt, Jonathan Mayo. He stays hurt.
this was so important, I think, to take a look at this opportunity. I've got great respect for Coach Marinelli. And
Another one of Chucky's friends, yup.
You know, guys like Travis Smith, and understanding some of the personnel things. But as coaches, you got to, you know, watch the tape and formulate your own opinions as well.
They was ranked 23rd.
Hey, Coach Jerry McDonald again.
They was ranked 23rd last year.
There's still no telling how much you're going to actually get hands-on with these guys in the off-season. All that stuff's got to be worked out. Practice time is more scarce than it's ever been. I'm curious whether you think your defense is an easy defense to learn. Can you play fast, or is it? Are you trying to make sure that it's quick enough so that they can play fast?
Yeah, I would say this. I think back when it all started, a little bit of history when we were at Seattle.
He wasn't Mike Mayock's pick. He was not Mike Mayock's pick. I agree with that, King Savage. He was not Mike Mayock's pick.
But the foundation of the defense, really, when it was brought to our attention, was, hey, try to design something that allows young players to come in and play early. You know, it's not a defense that you're going to come to us and say, I need this 12-year veteran, I need this 13-year veteran, because, you know, they're the ones that understand the system. And you know, it wasn't brought up in that fashion. So we knew we had to design something that players could learn and understand. And maybe
we're not getting rid of Carr. So stop that. We're not getting rid of Carr.
Offenses. And that was the whole idea behind it. So, you know, back in the day, that's why you saw Earl Thomas come in and play early, Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, you know, Bobby Wagner. These were young players that played early. So it is a big part of it. We try to design it so players have a chance to come in and play early. But yet, I mean, just like anything, there's, you know, defenses, you've got to have to be multiple. And you can't sit in one thing or two things the whole time and allow offenses just to tee off. So there's some things to it, but I think
Mariota is still signed for another year. He's not a free agent, King Savage.
That's the detail.
Mariota's here for another year, or retrade him.
Yeah, Coach, it's Ed Greeny from the Review Journal in Las Vegas. You talked
Nelly's
about
going to test the free agency. He is.
Takeaways have not been what John has wanted in 3 years, and I assume that comes down to players and talent. But are there other ways in your career you can see where those things can be created more to make it easier on a defense with the takeaways?
Well, it is. You know, I've been a part of defenses where, you know, you've done really well in getting takeaways, and then the next year,
it's a lot of people that we need to re-sign. It's a lot of people that we need to re-sign, y'all.
So it's still, like I said, it comes down to make sure the calls give players opportunity to get the ball out, and then there's a mindset to go get the ball and not miss any opportunities.
You got to re-sign Nelly right now. You got to sign him right now.
You know, every rep is, you know, about tackling. Every rep is about getting the ball. And it's kind of a mindset that we're trying to develop with the players. And, you know, and also I think there's innate ability. You know, there's guys that, you know, in college, they have a tendency to get the ball. They're ball hawks. And a lot of times that transfers over when they come into the NFL. So, you know, I think it's important to have guys that have that mindset, as well as I believe it can be developed.
I see people in the Raiders chat talking about bringing in Richard Sherman. I don't want Richard Sherman old ass either.
Hi, Coach Cassie Soto with the Las Vegas Review Journal. What were some of the major selling points to accept this position, and how excited are you to get to the city of Las Vegas?
Very excited. I mean, it wasn't hard. First of all, you're sitting in a meeting with Coach Gruen, who's awesome. And then we had, you know, Mark Davis in there, Rod Marinelli, you know, multiple other.
Carr is part of the problem, but I'm not giving up 3 first-round picks in Derek Carr. I'm not giving up three draft picks and a quarterback for Watson. I'm not giving up too much. We're giving up so much draft capital going after Watson. This don't have nothing to do with Carr right now. This all have to do with our defense.
Having great respect for the Raiders organization and the tradition.
I'm not giving up I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick and Derek Carr for a Deshaun Watson. No, I'm not doing it. That's giving up too much draft capital.
And obviously winning is extremely important. And as a coach, to come into a situation where winning is that important, that's all you can hope for. And this shares the same philosophy as you do. So, and then the Vegas part of it. I mean, you hear so many good things. It really is. When you talk to coaches that are here, and there's not one negative thing about being in Vegas.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm in my podcast studio. So if y'all see the pink background, oh well. I'm in my podcast studio.
The stadium, to see where the stadium's located, and there's fans outside in the parking lot, even though they couldn't go in the building. And
I couldn't make a video. I had to go live for
something
this.
I think we're all very excited about. The people here have been outstanding, and really can't look forward to the first day.
Sam, is it me or you, Sam? Me?
Just go ahead. Yep, Sam dropped off.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, Coach, can I just ask you a little bit about when you look at the building blocks to make this a defense that you want it to be? How far away? I mean, how far away are you? Do you kind of get a sense of that we need this, and this to get where I need to be?
Well, I think that it'll be interesting to see. It'd be nice. I wish I could just tell you, okay, here's what we need to do, and here's how we got to get better. But really, I think everybody's going to have to improve. Coach Gruden and I talked about this. The way you see really great growth in a unit is when it's extremely uncomfortable. And I think that's the challenge that every player, every coach needs to feel, is that uncomfortable piece of it, to know that, hey, we got to all take our game to the next level. And I really believe the players, they're hungry to do.
How y'all feel about this this interview so far? How y'all feel about this press conference?
You need to be able to affect the quarterback. When you look at stats year in and year out, they say, if you stop the run, if you're in the top 5 stopping the run, does that give you a great chance to make in the playoffs?
Do y'all like what y'all hearing from Gus Bradley? Do y'all like what y'all hear?
If you can affect the quarterback, you got a good chance to help your team, make it to that level that you're all shooting for. And then, what goes on from there. So, that's why I think up front is so important. And I think there's pieces in place there. But to give you a fair assessment, I'd really like to have a chance to really watch the film, because sometimes in a system,
Not impressed.
they're going to play differently.
So we need Aguilar to stay a year understanding the playbook. Bro, who's hating?
And sometimes you can see great improvement.
Raiders news. So, Chris Richard will be the DB coach. Okay, I'm not mad at that then.
Guys, and they want to get better. Now,
should we keep Mariota as a backup? Yes.
You can tell,
even with the injuries with the Chargers, had a better defense than us for the last 3 years. I meant not to give up. Extend Aguilar. Fuck all that car haters. If it wasn't for our defense, we'll be 0-16.
Building your staff
for our offense.
Anybody already?
News guys, Chris.
Part of that you're bringing over with you, or.
No, I'm reading the comments on the Raiders thing too. That's why I wasn't replying to you, Loyal to the Soil. I was replying to the people that's actually in the on the Raiders live stream listening to the press conference.
And see how they are and their feelings and where they're at with the process. Obviously, there's I felt like we had a tremendous staff with the Chargers. I mean, at all positions, it really was. I really enjoyed it. And as many of those.
Nobody cares for the Chargers. You're a Raider now.
If there is spots.
Nobody cares for the Chargers. You're a Raider now.
That's always something that you take a look at. But there's some very good. I mean, like I said before, guys like Rod Marinelli. I mean, Rod Marinelli and I didn't get a chance to work together at Tampa, but I sure heard a lot about him. And
okay, so Rod Marinelli and Gus Bradley never worked together, and now Chris Richards is going to be our DB coach. Okay.
Mindset. So I mean, we're going to put together a really good staff, and it's going to be a staff that really we each can grow from each other on it.
I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's it. I'm waiting forward to
If you work in a team, you should.
Oh yeah, that's actually it. So the live is officially done. The live is officially done. Hold up, y'all. Let me fix this real quick. Hold up. Let me get y'all back on here. Because I'm live from my podcast room, from my podcast studio. So you see the green screen. So that's exactly what happened with the press conference. Let me know in the comments on how y'all feel about the press conference. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments, because Gus Bradley sound like anybody else. Not impressed either. Who cares? A lot of people say they don't care. And I mean, only reason why I'm not a big fan of this hire is because of the other chances that you didn't give to you didn't give other guys a chance to seize the opportunity of being a defensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders. That's the only reason why I had this. I feel like we rushed the process. We didn't actually think through the process. This was not a Mike Mayock hire. This was definitely a John Gruden hire, and it shows that John Gruden is the GM as well. John Gruden is just as the GM as Mike Mayock. It's like Mike Mayock has lost his, he lost it. In my opinion, he lost it. And I feel like, yeah, at the end of the day, Mike Mayock is just not, he's not wearing the pants in this organization. He's not wearing the pants in this organization at all. Yeah, okay, so Chris Richard has a great relationship with Gus. Time would tell. He is in Vegas. He is in Vegas, so it's a 50-50 chance. I'm not impressed. We need to believe it for the defense is a big responsibility. It is. It sounds like a bunch of smoke and mirrors to me. Oh, wow. Wow. Y'all are going off. Y'all are going off. My God. So we really got to see what he does in the draft. What is he going to look for in the draft? I mean, I did my first mock draft. I know a lot of people disagreed with my first mock draft, but I mean, it's going to be multiple mock drafts that's going to be happening. I agree with you 100%. Mike Mayock, dad is sick right now. No, his father passed away, King Savage. His father passed away, but I know Mike Mayock, I know blessings, prayers go out to him and Mike Mayock, but y'all should have waited for Mike Mayock to get his mind straight before y'all decided to pick Gus Bradley as your defensive coordinator. Because this was not a Mike Mayock hire. It wasn't. It wasn't a Mike Mayock hire. But in the same instance, it might have been. Look who we got a head coach. Look who we got a head coach. We got John Gruden as head coach. So I'm not surprised. I mean, my hair, I need to get a haircut, bruh. I need to get a haircut. But it's all good, though. I'm going to be on here for another couple minutes. Okay, he probably with his family and stuff. Loyal to the Sawyer, we need 3 big runs into the defense. Warren Sapp, who is either 2 in that Tampa 2 defense. Gruden knew who he would hire soon as he fired Paul Guttner. What was a better option, better than Gus? You had Wade Phillips. You had Raheem Morris. You had Greg Williams. You had Chris Richard. That could have been a young defensive coordinator. I'm just tired of our staff as a whole looking old. We look old on our staff. Not just from the offensive side, from the defensive side as well. Like Gus Bradley looks old. He looks old as hell. He looks old. Like he'd be somebody's grandfather. So I mean, I'm just saying, in an instance, like we need to get younger in the coaching staff. We need to get younger because Robinson has better hands. If Carr does not get anything done this year, do you think it's Mariota time? I don't understand why y'all keep saying Derek Carr does not get it done this year. The reason why we're 8-8 is because of our defense. Let's just be realistic. Our defense is the reason why we're 8-8. It's not our offense. It's not our offense. I hate the conservative play calling that John Gruden has. Yes, I hate that. I hate the conservative play calling, but Carr is going to be back next year. If it's Mariota's time, then it's Mariota's time. That's up to John Gruden. But I feel like Carr is my quarterback. He threw for another 4,000 yards. Didn't have double-digit interceptions. Completion percentage was really good. And, I mean, he had a solid year. He didn't have an MVP year, but he had a solid year. Our defense got to help us win games because defense wins championships. We put the points up. You see that we can put the points up. All right, if we brought in Chris Richard to develop him under Gus Bradley, Carr had a career season. Carr is cool. Carr ain't the problem, Bernard said. We should use Mariota in Wildcats. I think we should use Mariota in packages. I do agree with that. I think it brings a little more style to our offense if you put Mariota on the field more. In some packages, even on like a third down and short, you can run a zone read with Mariota. Put him in the game when he's available. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about it in that sort. Raheem is going to be the head coach, not an LB's coach. Well, Raheem Morris is not even getting interviewed for the Atlanta Falcons job, from what I've seen. We have a top 10 offense and the worst defense in the league. That's a fact, King Savage. Gruden won't do that. He's stuck in the 2000s. That's a fact, too. Especially in the red zone, we should use Mariota. Kale, I do agree with that, Kale. I do agree with that. Still having to score 30 a game just to stay in it, and stay in it. And our bad our offense did all year too. Our offense was pretty good last year. Mariota needs to be like a Taysom Hill. Am I mad? I'm kind of am. I was gonna go on one of those rants, but like I went on the rant earlier. I don't agree. What's going on, Jay and Hopkins? I don't agree with Gus Bradley because I feel like we could have gave other guys a chance. Raheem Morris would have been a chance. Wade Phillips would have get it. I just would have thought that we would have interviewed more people. You know what I'm saying? We would have interviewed more people. Wade Phillips, Raheem Morris, Dan Quinn. Before Dan Quinn got the Dallas Cowboys job. I'm just kind of skeptical. The guy had the Chargers defense last year, ranked 23rd. Ranked 23rd in defense last year. I'm getting about all these dislikes, but I don't care. You can dislike all you want. Thank you for saying it. But if Gruden doesn't take us to the playoffs, fire him and hire Sean Payton, he's staying one more year with the Saints. He's leaving in 2022. Would you take that? Bring in Sean Payton. I started out ranting because I'm not a big fan of Gus Bradley. He ranked 23 in defense last year. How many collapses did the Chargers have last year? Think about it. Think about it. Sean Payton as an assistant? No. I think we should fire Gruden if he does if we don't make the playoffs next year, Gruden should be fired. Period. If we don't make the playoffs next year, Gruden should be fired. I mean, they had so many injuries on that defense would fail. Yeah, but they wasn't ranked. Gruden's not leaving. Y'all tripping? Listen, Gruden already said it. If he gets fired, he's not taking none of the Raiders' money. And Colton Henry, I'm tired of rebuilding. We've been rebuilding for the last 20 years, bro. If no playoffs, Gruden needs to go. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but that's just how I see it. That's just how I see it. But we've been on rebuild mode my whole life. Same here. Same here. We only had one good year. That was 2016. One good year. One good year in 20 years. In 20 years. I'm 34 years old, Bernard. I'm 10 years. I'm 10 years older than you. So I know. I know, brother. Even if we only win one game, that's sad. It could be worse. You could be a Jets fan. I understand that, but like, y'all want to pick up a good defensive coordinator. Do you have any kids? No, I don't have any kids. I have no kids. I have no kids at all. We play the Cowboys this season, and Dan Quinn versus Gus. Let's see that matchup. Yep. You only going off last year. He can have one of those years due to injuries. What about last year and the year before? The year before, they was what? They was middle of the pack. They was middle of the pack. It was middle of the pack. I'm just not a fan of Gus Bradley. I've never been a fan of Gus Bradley. I liked him. It's not by choice. I just don't have kids. I just feel like I just feel like the Raiders didn't give any other coordinators that's looking for a defensive coordinator job a chance. You stuck with Gus Bradley and you didn't weigh your options out. I mean, as a businessman, I'll weigh my options out before I pick my candidate. I just feel like the candidate was rushed. Once I knew that Gus Bradley was the front runner, once I knew he was the front runner, I knew he was going to get the job, but I wasn't happy with it. L.A. Rizzo says, we need a young, innovative head coach, OC, and DC. Football has changed since the last time Gruden was coaching, and I think is all over his head. I wanted Raheem Morris as our DC or Chris Richard. Thank you. Hope you subscribe to the channel. I really hope that y'all subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, because I will be going live at 4 o'clock for the off-season talk to talk more about this. We got to weigh out our options. Warren Sapp and Simeon Rice, just a few to name with that Tampa 2 and look back then. Yeah, but we don't have Warren Sapp and Simeon Rice type of players on this Raiders team. We don't. The offense still ranked top 10, but the defense lost us games. We kick a field goal when we play a team that only scores touchdowns. Facts. What's going on, Butcher's Block? What's going on, Butcher's Block? What's going on, brother? What's going on, man? Would you be mad if we rebuild the trenches? How many years we be rebuilding the trenches, Greg? How many years we be rebuilding the trenches? Like, no matter who we bring in. It doesn't matter who we bring in. We be rebuilding it. The boy Gus can draft, though. He won't have much control over it. That's the problem. That is the problem. He won't have much control over the draft because John Gruden is so offensive minded. I bet you that we will split 50-50 in the draft. It'll be one side of the draft offense, one side of the draft defense. I wouldn't say he's worse than Paul Guttner, but I feel like he collapsed so many times this year. The defense collapsed so many times this year. I feel you, all these years with subpar seasons, we have the right to be critical of anybody that we hire. I can appreciate that's how I feel. Yo, D, I didn't know. Yo, D, I don't know how much I have in Bradley as your coordinator. I don't know either. I don't know either. I don't know. We just have to see. We just have to see, man. But, I mean, I heard the press conference. He said he's looking forward to working with Molinari, so it seems like Rob Molinari is staying with us. I'm hearing that Chris Richard is our DB coach, so hopefully that is a step up. And I really hope the old school cats have seen it all. And I feel like with Gus Bradley, hopefully he could turn this around. I'm not mad at it. Why is Gus so bad? He don't finish games. He get conservative on defense when he has a lead, and that's the problem. Right, Chuck. Yeah, yes, J.A. Raider. Yes, John Raider. Gus has choked 7 games by being up 7 points or more. That's my issue. We got 2 more weeks before we made a decision. We had a lot of time before we made a decision. We had a lot of time. I just think we rushed it. I'm surprised more coaches wasn't fired for the Raiders. I fully expect them to clean house. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, bro. I would love for it to happen, but it's not going to happen. I'm going to give it a shot. But I'm telling you, if this defense still looked the same with Gus Bradley, I have every right to snap the way I would snap. Yeah, he was with Gruden in Tampa, but he was with Gruden in Tampa, but think about this, y'all. That Tampa Bay team was not John Gruden's team. People fail to realize that. The NFL has changed. People need to understand. John Gruden did not win a Super Bowl with his team that he built. That he was given that team by Tony Dungy. That was Tony Dungy's team. Tony Dungy drafted Warren Sapp and Simeon Rice and all those boys. Callahan had Gruden's team, but Callahan didn't do much with it. Callahan didn't do much with it. Yes, he went to the Super Bowl with that Super Bowl, and that was it. And you notice But you think about it, in 2002, right? In 2002, that was John Gruden's team, but John Gruden couldn't get us to the Super Bowl, but Bill Callahan did. Think about that. Think about that. We need to be in draft mode. We need to be in draft mode. We are in January. Before you know it, it's going to be April. You know how hard the year flies by? Like 2021 came like this. We need to be focusing on free agency and drafting right now. We need to. We need to. Let's see our offensive coordinator. We're not going to get an offensive coordinator. John Gruden is the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Here we go again, hiring his friends. That's what it's about. Not going to change. I agree with you in this BS. Thank you, Ricky White. People already knocking it, but I ain't see it run yet. Who do you think we get in free agency defensive-wise? Don't know. I don't know because we don't have much cap. Darian, does Carr stay or do they try to move him? They already said they're not moving on from Derek Carr. They said it in week 17 before the Broncos game that they're not moving on from Derek Carr. So all this Derek Carr talk of getting traded for Deshaun Watson, nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud now because it's unrealistic. We're keeping Carr. Raiders fans questioning Carr don't know football. Thank you. Thank you. All I wanted the defense to give up the 14 to 17 points, not 30 to 40 points a game. I would be happy. I wouldn't mind 14 to 17, even 20. Do we cut Trent? I want to cut Trent Brown or trade him. I want to cut Trent Brown because he's just not available for us. I don't think he wants to be a Raider. People want Carr gone but don't know who's going to replace him. Exactly. Thank you. Do we cut Tyrell Williams? Cut Tyrell Williams. Darren, I don't think Gruden knows how to use Carr correctly. He doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't know how to use Carr correctly. He doesn't. It's sad, but it's true. But I am going to be going live at 4 o'clock, so hopefully all y'all come back in the chat. Hopefully all y'all come back in the chat for this. So we'll be going live at 4 for the offseason talk about the latest news in Raiders news. Me and Hammer House will be live at 4 o'clock. Carr has a career high numbers under Gruden. He does, but he did have career highs under Jack Del Rio too. So you just got to put him with the right offensive coordinator. Trent Brown for another first-round pick. Hey, I take it. Yeah, and Trent Brown is out of shape. He's definitely out of shape. They want the rookie to start for us and get rid of Carr. That put us back 5 to 6 years. Thank you, Ricky. Draft Christian Barmore. If he's there at 17, I say we go get him. Darren, I'm going to hit you up about the NBA collab. You been was supposed to hit me up, Bobby. I'm waiting for it, bruh. I'm waiting for you to hit me up. But, yo, D, I hear the Bears fans want to trade Mack for Watson. I would love that. Oh, wow. They want to trade Khalil Mack to the Texans? Gruden has Carr going ham. When the hell was the last time? Blah, blah, blah. Because he sabotaged the team. Now I'm saying 3rd and goal. Mariota in. Yeah. Can we get a 3rd and 4th round and Trent Brown, not a first? Listen, more first-round picks, better talent. You talking to me, Loyal to Soil? You talking to me? I don't know who you talking about. But defense will be better than the last 3 years. I hope so. Gruden needs to mix up the playbook. Predictable? Definitely. Message me how your schedule is looking this week, brother. I'll set it up and bet on it. All right, cool. I'll definitely do that. Gruden got Jacobs, Waller, Renfro, Aguilar, but he needs to go. You give Dungy credit, but not Gruden for the team is built. Listen, Bill Callahan, after he lost in that Super Bowl, where did Bill Callahan go? What happened with Bill Callahan? Yes, he built the team that could have took us to the Super Bowl. But he didn't take us to the Super Bowl. It had to take for Bill Callahan to take us to the Super Bowl. But Tony Dungy built that team through the draft. That's the difference. Let's hear something positive about it. Let's hear something positive about Gus Bradley. He only had one good defense in his career, and that was in 2018 when he was ranked 8th. How can you say about Dungy? You can't say that about Dungy. What team did Dungy take over? Who was the head coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that he took that he had that team? Tony Dungy was there for at least what? 7, 8 years before he got fired? But we all know why. We all know why Dungy got fired. But I'm not going to say it on here. We all know why Dungy got fired. We all know that. We all know why Dungy got fired. I'm not going to sit here and make it a race thing, but we all know Dungy got fired. We all know why there's not a lot of African-American coaches in the NFL. But I'm not going to go that route. I'm not going to go that route. I am not going to go that route. I am not going to go that route. Dungy was a hell of a good coach. Took that team to the playoffs every year. But I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to go that far because that has nothing to do with it. It's a lot of minority coaches that's not getting hired in this league. It's not. They get these little behind coaches that like look how Brian Flores is succeeding in Miami. An African American coach. Succeeding. Better than John Gruden. He outplayed John Gruden. But I'm not going to get political on here. I'm not. Thank you, Larry Fleming. Thank you. Dungy did. Don't forget, Dungy won a Super Bowl before John Gruden. He was one of the first African Americans to win a Super Bowl. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But at the end of the day, we're going to have B-Flow is going to be really good down here in Miami. Gruden record in the 3 games above 500. That's horrible. Let me tell you this stat. A lot of people don't know about John Gruden about this, though. Every time that Gruden has a team that starts out 6-3, he's the only one that does not make the playoffs. He doesn't. Think about that. John Gruden with the teams that he had. With the teams that he had. Even when he was in Tampa Bay, when he started out 6-3, he missed the playoffs. We started out 6-3. We missed the playoffs. He started out 6-4 the year before last. We missed the playoffs. Come on now. There's no other coach in the league that started 6-3 and missed the playoffs. You paid this man $100 million for 10 years to be mediocre. Stop it. Stop it. Tom Flores will be a Hall of Famer. Thanks for the $2 donation, bro. Thanks for the $2 donation. Tom Flores will be a Hall of Famer, one minority coach. It's nothing to hate. I'm not hating. Am I a big fan? Am I a big fan of Gus Bradley? I'm not a big fan of him. But do I have to deal with it as a Raiders fan? Yes, I have to deal with it. I have to deal with it. We go 6-3. We go 6. Okay, so John Gruden will put butts in the seats. It shouldn't matter if the coach should put butts in the seats. The fans should come out because they love their team. It don't have nothing to do with putting butts in the seats from the head coach. I feel like, listen, since John Gruden became the head coach, since John Gruden became the head coach for the second time for the Raiders, Sean McVay has a better winning record than John Gruden. Matt LaFleur, in his first year, has a better record than John Gruden. Thank you, Butcher's Block and Patriots Park. Thank you, Bobby. He said Gruden doesn't know how to adapt to his coaching style with the league changing. What's going on, Devin? What's up, Devin? What's going on, man? Sean McVay had the best offense that year, too. Look how many numbers they put up. Look how many points they put up. Because they were so innovative. They wasn't outdated. Our offense is outdated. You're not allowed to curse, Devin. You're not allowed to curse. I'm not stupid. I'm a realistic fan. I break down film. And there's a lot of conservative play calling that John Gruden made us lose some of them games, but the defense majority lost us games. I'm not going to say that. But it's been some conservative freaking play calling that Gruden is scared to be aggressive with this offense. He's scared. Gruden can't adapt. He can't. He can't because he's predictable. He's predictable on first and second down. I can defend John Gruden's offense on first and second down. Yes, our offense can be ranked top in the league, but we still not in the playoffs. Hello? We got a top 10 deep. We got a top 10 offense, but not in the playoffs. We sitting home. We sitting home. But we got a top 10 offense, but we're sitting home. We sitting home after being 6-3. Stop it. Stop it. Quit that BS. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, D-Guest. Let's talk about this. How we was 4 for 4 on fourth down, and then in overtime, you decided to kick a field goal when all you need is 3 yards to get into the end zone. On fourth down. Excuse me? Who's that on? That's on Gruden. When you have a mobile quarterback in Marcus Mariota. We go 4 for 4 on fourth down, and we in overtime, you kick a field goal on fourth down. That's conservative. Stop it. He stopped playing to win. Stop playing to win. Defense cost us more than 3 games. That's a fact. You want to unsubscribe? Go ahead and unsubscribe. That's on you, man. I'm just a realistic Raider fan. Anybody can tell you this. I'm just a realistic Raider fan. I'm just tired of losing. I'm a fan that's tired of losing. I said what I said. And if you want to unsubscribe to me because I have an opinion, that's on you. I'm just tired of losing. Are y'all not tired of losing? Listen, I'm blaming group. Listen, you play to win the game, bro. You play to win the game. That's what you're not realizing here. If it's fourth and goal, if we on the 2-yard line, why would you kick a field goal? Why would you kick a field goal in overtime? That's stupid. I play football. I coach football. Think about it. If we would have went for it and scored a touchdown, they would have to score a touchdown instead of a field goal to win the game. But no, you want to go conservative and kick a field goal, and you knew this defense was bad all year. That's the problem with this. You knew you put the hands in the defense. You put the game in the hands of your defense, knowing your defense was ranked 32nd all year long. Doesn't matter if it's 16 seconds, doesn't matter if it's 5 seconds. I don't care. I'm not putting it in the hands of my defense. If I am a head coach, I am not putting it in the hands of my defense to help us win a game. You stupid. We tired of it, man. You knew this defense was bad all year, and you decided to kick a field goal and put it in the hands of the worst defense. What I think you just okay, Jahed. You said what I suggest the Raiders should do, right? I feel like this. I feel like John Gruden needs to give up the play calling. That's one. Bring in a young, innovative offensive coordinator that can be creative, and make it to a point where we still can put the points on the board, but we need to be innovative on offense. We're not innovative on offense. We need players that's going to compete, that wants to play for Gruden. And I think people are like, I think Gruden is losing the locker room. I wouldn't want to play. What makes John Gruden an icon? Please tell me this. Please tell me what makes John Gruden an iconic coach. Please tell me. Give me 5 reasons. Give me 5 reasons that John Gruden is an iconic coach. We should have went for it, but think about it. If we would have missed that, if we would have missed out on 4th down, they would have had to go to length of the field. They would have had to go to length of the field. Please tell me what makes John Gruden an iconic coach. He's not iconic. Bill Belichick is an iconic coach. John Gruden is not an iconic coach. I'm not quitting on the Raiders. No, I'm talking about the Chargers game in overtime. What makes John Gruden a legendary coach? Please tell me this. Please tell me this. Please tell me what makes him a coach. If you give me 5 reasons, that John Gruden is a legendary coach, and I'll be happy. Please give me 5 reasons. 5 reasons. But listen, we beat those playoff teams and we're not in the playoffs. That's what you're not thinking. We beat 3 teams that's in the playoffs, but we're not in the playoffs. What does that tell you? But this is not even about John Gruden anymore. Carr is an innovative talent QB, but it's predictable on 1st and 2nd down. We run the ball. Josh Jacobs it had to get to Josh Jacobs in 17 weeks to get 1,000 yards. No, as a coach, he's a former Monday Night Football analyst, not a coach. What makes him legendary as a coach on the sideline? Not because he's in the booth. They don't like the truth, man. They don't like the truth. Tell me why he's a Hall of Fame coach. Tell me. Tell me why he's legendary. Tell me why he's... Tell me. Tell me why. We beat all these playoff teams, but we sitting on the couch. We beat all these teams that's in the playoffs, but we sitting on the couch at home. Like, come on. I love the Raiders fans, man. They so unrealistic. They so unrealistic. I used to coach football. I used to coach high school football. I'm being hypocritical. How am I being hypocritical? The dudes can't accept the fact that Gruden ain't the guy and the defense was ass. Thank you. I'm just laughing. Yes, I think Carr is our future. He's going to retire a Raider. I just watched Gus Bradley's interview, and it says on the front end, most importantly, when it's getting to the QB, hopefully the front end changes. The defense was cheeks. What was your coaching record? Well, I was just an assistant. I was just I was a defensive line coach, and I was never a head coach in high school. I mean, Pop Warner I was, but I was never a head coach in high school. I was a defensive line coach for 4 years, and I was a running backs coach for 4 years for another high school. So I was just a positional coach. I was not a head coach. But it is what it is. We accepted it. It's not going to be the way we want it or the way we want to see it. Thank you, Larry. It's not going to be like that. He sucks. Chargers fan. You said Callahan took Gruden's team to the Super Bowl, but he couldn't do it. But Tony, you still worry about that Tony Dungy stuff. Stop it. Stop it. You a John Gruden lover. You're a John Gruden lover. I'm telling you. He's a John Gruden lover. He's a John Gruden lover. When I could run listen, if I was an offensive coordinator, I'll be able to run John Gruden's offense. John Gruden's offense is too easy. John Gruden's offense is too easy to run. It's too easy. I could run an I formation and run it up the middle with Josh Jacobs. I could do that. That's easy. That's easy. That's why you think they had 8 people in the box on first and second down every single time that we played. But we stuck in Gruden's contract. We stuck in his contract. Thank you, Gruden is garbage of a coach. He is. As far as offensive play calling. Like, you got Greg Olsen there as an offensive coordinator, but he doesn't call no plays. We're top 10 in the league, but we're sitting home on the couch. What part of that you're not understanding, D-Guess? We're sitting home with a top 10 offense. Like, what? What? We're sitting home with a top 10 offense. We're sitting home on the couch. Stop it. We're sitting home with a top 10 offense that averaged 30 plus points a game, but we're sitting home. Stop. Oh my God. Oh my God. Right circle of life. Yes, the Raiders been through so much pain, man. We just want them to win. You so worried about our offense being top 10. We score, mind you, we score more points than half of the teams that's in the playoffs on offense. But those offenses are still competing for a Super Bowl. Them teams are still. He suck at play calling when it matters. He suck at play calling when the game is on the line. That's the problem. That's what you're not getting, D-Guess. That's what you're not getting, bro. When the game is on the line, he gets conservative. He even said it himself in the press conference. Go back and look at the press conference from the Chargers game. He even said it himself that he should have went for it on 4th down. He even said it himself. So shut up. If you know our deep, but my thing is this though, if you are a head coach, right? If you have a head coach and you know your defense was trash all year, you knew from week 1 to week 17, you knew that your defense was bad all year. So why would you put it in the hands of your defense and play aggressive and win the game? A touchdown would have won the game. The defense wouldn't have had to get out on the field. Think about that. It's overtime. It's 4th and 2. 4th and goal. All you needed was a touchdown to win the game. That's all you needed. That's all you needed. The defense did not have to get back on the field. But no, you settled for overtime, and that's my problem with Gruden. You settled for overtime against a defense. Against a defense that's terrible. Why would you rely on a 30-second defense to win you football games? You can't rely on that. That's logic, bro. That's logic. But we'll talk more about it, y'all. I've been on here for almost 2 hours, so I'm going to get off here. Make sure y'all here at 4 o'clock. Make sure y'all here at 4 o'clock where we do the off-season talk. We will talk all about this. Me and Hammer House will be talking about this on the off-season talk for the Las Vegas Raiders. Make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, y'all. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine, because at the end of the day, I'm a realistic Raider fan. Been realistic all my life as a Raiders fan. And I'm going to still be a realistic Raider fan all day long. You can't rely on D-Gas. I'm not going to even argue with you because you sound stupid. You sound stupid. The team is ranked 32nd in the league. Even with 16 seconds, I don't trust my defense. So comment, like, and subscribe, y'all. I'm out of here. Gus Bradley is our new defensive coordinator. My realism, sorry. And listen, you dumb, D-Gas. You just dumb as shit. Sorry. You just dumb as shit. And I don't care. So, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll see y'all at 4 o'clock for more Raiders talk. We out of here, y'all. Peace.